We are set to go, ladies and gentlemen, people around the world, children, if you happen to pop up here by accident, welcome to the show. Welcome to the weekly beer show. What's up, Nate?
What's going on,
man? High five. High five. So, yeah, the other way. Welcome, everybody, to the show. We are ready to go. We got an amazing show for you. It's going to be one of the funnest ones we're going to do. I can promise you. We have some delicious beers. If this is your first time on, let me tell you a little bit about what we do here. We go ahead, and it's exactly what we're going to be doing is reviewing two beers. But we have a fun time doing it. And we throw in some segments like the good news. We do what would you rather. We do what are you reading, what are you watching, what are you listening to with this die. And it's just going to be a fantastic time. And today's episode, we got an amazing guest. We're going to be bringing on Natalie from Beer Feelings. She's from Colorado, and she's just got some groundbreaking stuff that we're going to go ahead and show you, talk about, bring to the light of the world on the show. Nate, why don't you tell everyone what we do if they're returning?
Hey, for all of you that are returning, you know what we do. We review two beers. We crack them, smell them, taste them. Then we go to the scorecard. We get five points each, totaling 5 points with a half-point system. Gotten to 25 out of 25. Is today the day?
Today the day? I don't know. Could today be the day? We've yet to crack the 25. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Who do we got in the room? Please go ahead and let us know where you're calling in, where you're watching, where you're listening in from. Now, we might have a little bit of issue with time change feelings. I like it. The time change, people might not have. What did we do? We jumped forward to or spring back. We lost an hour, right?
Spring forward.
Okay, but that was last week, wasn't it?
It was last Sunday, yeah.
I find it remarkable.
We're done with it now. In 20, they're not doing it anymore.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Maybe our guest can confirm, or maybe she knows. But I thought somebody talking about that next year they're not doing it anymore.
Wow. Okay. I find it amazing, Nate, that people still complain and bitch 2 weeks later off a loss of 1 hour or the gain of 1 hour. We're getting ready. Who do we got in the room? Baro, welcome, my friend. All the way from India, welcome. Love and Light. Druidic, welcome from Denmark. All right. People are starting to pop up and show up. Welcome to the show. We have a fun one, and I am excited. Nate, let's go ahead and just get right to it. What do you say?
Let's do it.
All right, guys. Today's guest comes from Colorado. She is doing some stuff that I've never seen before on this type of level. It's groundbreaking. It's exciting. It's definitely inspired me to go ahead and try it. Ladies and gentlemen, people around the world, please welcome Natalie with Beer Feelings. Yay!
Hey.
Welcome.
How are you guys?
What's up? We're doing great.
Thank you so much.
Nice.
Hi, Natalie.
Hello. How are you guys doing? I'm excited that you guys gave me a good reason to drink a little bit earlier in the day because of daylight savings time.
That's right.
Okay. Hey, Sunday's fun day, says Brett from New York. Welcome. And you know what's crazy? It's I was wondering, Natalie, this is the first time you had mentioned about drinking in the morning. Usually our guests are you guys drinking at 10 a.m. on a Sunday? Yeah, we go to church at 8 and get home by 9.
I prefer, if it were up to me and I had no responsibilities or tasks, I actually prefer drinking maybe not in the morning, but during the daytime, because I like to feel the buzz or to ride feeling that good beer feeling as long as it lasts. If you go to sleep on it, it kind of feels like you're throwing it away to me a little bit.
No, you're exactly right. I mean, I don't know if it was the Jersey Shore or I was somewhere. I don't know if it was somewhere, but it was a nightclub at 11 o'clock in the morning. It was definitely somewhere down on the beach on the East Coast somewhere. And that shit was fire, man. I love that.
Oh, my gosh. It makes me feel like I'm back in college again, which is some happy years. So happy to do it. This is Bucket. Bucket decided he wants to make a little appearance.
Bucket.
Hello, Bucket.
Well, welcome. Well, first of all, thank you for being on the show. And obviously your name is Natalie. We've already introduced you, but Natalie, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, and all the basics.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Natalie Jones. I'm the founder of a company called Beer Feelings, where really my goal is to make the craft beer space more fun, flirty, and feminine. And I do this. We host a variety of different craft beer experiences where, of course, what's important is in your glass and getting the most out of that. But what's more important is who's by your side. Are you enjoying yourself? Are you having a good time? We have different offerings. So whether you're participating online, you can come to an in-person class, or you're at home and you're participating with our product line, we can help you find a beer that is so delicious. And we'll talk a little bit about this later in the show, but really like my personal goal, like which is turning into the company goal, is I would love it if people stopped drinking so beer or surviving their beer or just like, oh, I bought this 6-pack and I don't like it. Like, no, like let's drink beer that's delicious, that makes us so happy on the inside that you want to drink your next one and you want to taste the next thing. So that's Beer Feelings in 30 seconds.
Yeah, wow. I mean, that's
great.
Ding. Who's in the house? Have Trollins in the house. This is Natalie with Beer Feelings. All right. Please give her your support. Natalie, that's really cool. I love how you got it really locked in. Like your statement and your purpose is locked in. And Nate is going to show us a little bit about the products that you have, what you're doing. And we're going to get into that a lot today. But take a look. I mean, that's pretty cool what's going on there.
Yeah,
absolutely. Really cool. I joke that our product line helps you have, typically I work with women, but I think men can always work to get in touch with their feminine side a little bit too, right? Like we can all flex that muscle a little bit, but I put together with our different products, we have different salts and sugars, which we're going to talk a lot about today, all infused with beer meant to go on the edge of your pint glass, as well as different beer and hops infused spa products. So when you put all of these together, I joke and say that our products help you have the ultimate boozy and bougie spa night at home. And you never have to put real pants on. You never have to get in the car, but yeah, I love what I do. I drink. My boyfriend and my parents are very confused on what I do to make a living, and they're like, "So you drink beer?" And I go, "Like, kind of,
yeah." well, that's awesome. I mean, look at that. Who can tell me what type of glass that is? Anybody out there?
Hey, great question.
I want to see.
On the show last week, so
yes.
know.
About it.
If you were listening and you were watching, or you watched it somehow and you're new this week, let us know what kind of glass that is. Whoever does it first, and Nate will do a shot of Malort.
Whoa. Okay. No problem. And
all
tell
right,
us,
Nate, what did you
salts you have here? Sorry, Danny.
No, go ahead, Nate.
So these are interesting. Natalie was nice enough, kind enough to send along one of her packages. I don't have the box, but if you go back to the pictures and then look at the beautiful presentation of the box, it comes just like this. Like the insulation or what that stuff is called, it's perfect. It's full when you get it. Very, very nice package. Thank you so much. I have the glass. I'm not good at putting the salt on, as you can see, but I try. And inside, I got my little thing here. And inside, there's like really pieces of chili in here, like big pieces of chili. As a matter of fact, look at this thing.
It's a spicy, chunky boy. So what Nate's talking about, we're enjoying the chili lime beer salt. So here's what we're looking at. Here's the cute little container. The post office one. So Danny isn't drinking with us just yet.
Hey, so. Okay, I feel a little left out. I want to go ahead and address this. The USPS or UPS or whoever was delivering it delivered it a little bit later here on my end. But don't worry, we're going to do a separate video, and I'm going to put that out on the channel so you can check it out, and we're going to take you through this process. So if you're not here and you're watching this later, don't worry, but I will go ahead and do it too. But take us through what beer salt you have there, the cup.
Yeah, absolutely. So today we will be enjoying, you can tell I'm a millennial since I know how to post up with one of these. But we're drinking the chili lime beer salt. This is our best seller. So it's really great. Some people are like, how do you use this? What do you do? And my favorite way to do it is to put it on the edge of a glass. And like we said, it's a pretty chunky boy. It has like real pieces of lime zest and chili in there. Very good. There's the shot.
Right. You are correct, Emily.
Good job.
Damn, dude.
So we threw it on the Tiku Glass, which this is our signature glass. A few features about, do you guys want me to tell you like why I chose this one, why I like this one?
Yeah.
So this, when it came out, was supposed to be like the ultimate beer drinking glass for any style that you could choose when Rascal developed this glass. So first, you'll notice it has a stem, so it kind of looks a little bit more like a wine glass. So that means that you're in control of your temperature. So if you want to keep beer nice and cool, you can keep your hand down here. There's a lot of real estate for you. If you want to warm it up, maybe with like a darker beer and open it up a little bit, you can cup it and warm it up. Then, if I get this nice and close, the angles in here, the shape of this glass helps to kind of unlock flavors and aromas and let them kind of like breathe in there. And then you'll see it condenses into a little lip, which means all that was brewing funnels into one place. And then this little lip at the top, I'm not used to being backwards like this, helps to hold foam. So that helps with the foam retention. And really, when you think about foam, like foam is a good thing. I never knew it was a a thing until I got into the industry.
Oh, you got to see have you ever been to a foam party?
I have been to, that's what it was.
Foam parties. They're
was doing
disgusting, but so much fun. Sorry.
But yeah, no, it's all good. So foam basically is the magnifying glass. So all the hard work that the beer did in the glass, now you can observe it and you can appreciate it because it's kind of like it lets it hang out a little longer. So that's why we chose the Tiku. It's my favorite glass of all.
By the way, now I don't have to do this anymore. We can just bring Natalie on. She can do all the teaching. Okay.
Great. Love it.
That would be great.
That's what I do for a living. Totally down.
That's
it's
pretty
like,
cool.
I want to be on the show.
No, we are very excited that you're here. If you're just hopping on, I see people. I see Barrow. I have Trollen, Rick Fontana. Shouts out to you, Calvin, Aquanuts. Welcome everybody to the show. This is Natalie with Beer Feelings. She's going to be joining us today. She sent Nate and I one of those Tiku glasses with the salts. Unfortunately, I don't have mine, but what I do have is the beer we're going to try out. So let's go ahead and bring in the first beer.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Natalie is from Colorado, so we thought we're going to bring back a lot of fun Colorado beers. So this one comes to us from Avery Brewing. We've done one of their beers before. I think we did the hazy-ish IPA. So this one's also going to be another one from Avery Brewing. Welcome today's beer number 1, the White Rascal Belgium style white ale. Look at this guy.
Look at that. I like their. It's cool. Well, I don't know what this thing.
That's the Rascal.
That's a Rascal. Yeah.
That's the White Rascal.
Way to put that one together.
Yeah, that's the white. Geez, I don't know why the Cardinals are called Cardinals. That is the White Rascal. Nate, how strong is this beer?
I think it's 5.6%. Apologies. It is a Belgian wheat ale or white ale, which is going to have in the grain bill is going to have a certain amount of wheat to it. So it's going to be probably a Nana-y type Hefeweizen style.
Nice.
I'm excited for you guys to try it. This is one of my go-to, this is a very standard beer for me. So I'm excited for you guys to partake.
I haven't yet, but it is very popular. It's all over the place.
Really?
Yes, it's a very popular. This particular one for me, it's probably, I would say this and Allagash are probably the two styles like this that are probably the most popular and best in the country. At least that has the most notoriety.
Wow. I mean, the Belgium style white ale, is this like the Blue Moons? Is that what this is gonna be like Blue Moon? Okay.
Blue Moon, Shock Top. I'll let you guys taste it for yourselves, but then I'll tell you my feelings on the beer.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and crack it open and give it a sniff first. First, we like to smell it come from the can or bottle. And whoa.
Whew. I taste or I smell it's like citrusy a little bit. Picking that up.
I smell it like a tangerine blast, like very citric orange.
You guys are so spot on.
Nice. Hell yeah. I promise I didn't. I give you an honest opinion. You guys all know this, but I don't do a lot of research because I like just being the regular guy, right?
Yeah.
Hi, Aquanuts is in the house. Drunatic. Okay, a couple of Danes saying hello to each other. But here we go. I guess let's go ahead and pour it. Natalie, what do you think? This is going to be like a chocolate stout?
No. Because it does have a higher wheat content, you'll see some more foam. Just because of the protein in there. So if it's getting really foamy really quick, that's okay. And that should be celebrated because that should
open it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of like wine without the foam.
Exactly. So all the time I get people being like, that's a bad pour. That's a bad pour. But okay, number one, the foam goes down. And number two, if the foam doesn't happen in your glass, it happens in your belly, and that's what makes you feel really full. So if you're drinking a beer and you're like, I just feel like I'm a balloon, I'm full of air, it's probably because you didn't pour it hard enough. And so you're not getting like as much foam. I'm full of beer tips today.
No, I love it. It's amazing. And we had talked about this. Yeah, we talked about this briefly. You know, Nate, you got 2 stickers there. We're talking about getting in touch with your feminine side. I don't mind if you take your shirt off and wear those as pasties.
You already had me do a shot. I am not putting.
I'm kidding. So, but Natalie, we talked a little bit offline about pouring this beer, the Nitro Irish Stout that we did last week. Because I poured it, it looked like a Coca-Cola flat on a pool table from the night before.
Oh my gosh. I almost sent you a text to like, let me on the stream. I'll go get one of those beers. That's another beer from Colorado. So Breckenridge Brewery, I did a couple events with them last week, have some more events in April. So if you're in Colorado, like shameless plug, come see me at Breckenridge. We go to the Littleton location though. So I
want to be there. I want to check it out.
Everyone come down. Come
do
from
it. Yeah.
Denmark, come from wherever you are. But yeah, with a nitro, so most of the time you're going to pour a beer the exact same way. But with a nitro, because they put the nitrogen in the can, you want to do, my can is not empty. So we're just going to pretend that I'm holding a can. Okay. You want to pour it really hard. So you just go from like 0 to 60 and you just dump it. And what that's going to do is it triggers all the nitrogen to release and make a really pretty cascade. So we'll have to do like a nitro special episode where all we do is pour beers and watch the cascade.
That would be great. I'm ready to get into this right now. Wow. Let's do it. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers, Natalie.
Yeah.
Here's the beer feelings. Okay, I like the chili and the salt with this.
Yeah,
I do.
Well, let me tell about my first sip, and then you guys can indulge on your first sip. It's weird. This is really clean, and it tastes a little hoppy to me. It definitely has a citrus flavor on the front of it, but overall, a very clean, smooth beer. I feel like when you drink it, you're expecting an IPA, but that really harsh bitterness never really fulfills. Nate, what do you think? How is it with that salt, man? That looks friggin' awesome.
Yeah, I like it. I like the counter as a sweet beer. The profile is sweet. It dead on your tongue. It's a really nice feeling beer. There's a nice carbonation to it that's a little bit light. It's fresh. It's clean, like Danny said. And the salt is a perfect accompaniment to it. You know, it just gives you a little bit of an extra flavor profile to kind of mesh with the sweetness, and it balances out very, very well. Well done, Natalie. Good job.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're liking it. So I'm curious, Nate, for you to try it. Like once you get a few sips in, try it without the salt too, to see like, was the beer just great on its own, which it is, but just to give you a different perspective. But some facts about this beer. I would describe this beer, if I was describing it to a stranger, as the farmer's market version of a Blue Moon, or the farmer's market version of a shock top. It just tastes a little more like there's a little more love in it. There's a little more care in it. Exactly. And so some features about it that are cool. I think the yeast is a little more present there. It has that Belgian yeast. So some of what you guys were predicting, like it's similar yeast to what's used in a Hefeweizen, which is also another wheat beer. So the fact that you guys like picked up on that right away, I was like, oh, this is great. This has a few adjuncts in it. So it has coriander and orange peel. So those are added in outside of the core 4 ingredients. So the tangerine that you're tasting, I think it tastes sunshiny.
It does. It's a great word.
Go to like day drinking beer.
Right. It's not too strong. You can probably do 4 or 5 at the pool and not get yourself in too much trouble. I would do 10 or 12 and get myself into trouble.
And they feel like I think the mouthfeel feels like smooth, almost creamy. And you can, I don't know if you can see on the camera, it's not a transparent beer. It has like, I guess you can't really see. You can't see my fingers. The other beer that we're going to drink, no, is also not transparent. I was going to say, I'll show you the difference. But that's from the wheat that's in there. So there's just little baby wheat particles hanging out. So that's what's giving the foam its legs. That's what's making it a little hazier, even though it's not a hazy IPA.
Yeah, that's like I was going to say to your points is, the wheat, I definitely, like when I drink a rice lager, I can tell that it's brewed with rice. I can tell this was brewed. Yeah, I could tell this was brewed with wheat. And oddly enough, I don't know, it's that one thing that I can taste more than anything is coriander. So I definitely taste that in there. And that's a lot of the missing ingredient that I picked up on that, but I was like, I think that's what it is. What's that?
Do you like the coriander? Do you even realize that was ever in beer? Like, do you like pickings as a taste you like?
Yeah, I think we call it something different here. The only reason I know that it's coriander is because in China, I used to hang out with Big Dog, and he'd be like, "Hey, mate, no coriander on that," and he would never have. And I was like, I didn't even know it's called something else in American.
I know what this. You guys are just laying me up for these wins. So coriander is the seeds of cilantro. So like when you go to Chipotle and you get this cilantro lime rice, just when that plant kind of like grows up to be an adult and it makes seeds, that's what's coriander. But beers of this style can be called wit beers. They can be called white ales. They go by a lot of names, but much like a Hefeweizen, a lot of Hefeweizens taste similar, right? Like you go to different breweries and they all kind of have the same like vibe. What wit beers or white ales are very similar as well. So this one, like I said, tastes like the farmer's market version, like it's juicy and it's fresh. But yeah, if you're enjoying this, it's easy to find another one that you like.
Yeah, I really am, guys. And this is, if you're just hopping on, I want to say buenos dias to Marissa. Welcome to the show, White Rascal. Okay, this is it, the Belgium style. And we have Beer Feelings Natalie with us, who has already just dropped some knowledge on every one of you that your brain's ready to explode. Okay, she said more smart things in 22 minutes than I've said in 22 episodes.
You guys are making me feel fantastic this morning. I'm going to cancel all my other plans. This is like the biggest ego lift up. Like I feel like king of the world right now.
No, I love it. I love it. I love that you're here and you're adding so much value. We've talked a little bit about beer feelings. We're going to get into later in show and tell. But Natalie, you were talking about styles of beer. Do you have a preferred style of beer?
That's a really tough question. And the answer is yes, kind of. So I really love both.
You're leaving that door open for it.
Yeah. If beer was like dating, I'm in a very committed relationship. He's in the back room. It's like we're in love. But if equating my beer drinking to dating, I like to date around with beer. Like I like trying new things. That's exciting to me. But if you said you could only drink one kind of beer for the rest of your life, it would be a goza, which is it's a sour beer with salt in it. So I think that's why I started putting salt on my beers, because I wanted more things to taste like a goza. But in the winter, like when it's cold, instead of going and drinking soup, I drink a stout. I really like dark beers.
Nice. Okay. Nate, what about you? If you had to pick one, we don't really touch on this a lot, but if you had to just have one style of beer.
Again, I think I'm similar to Natalie in that, I mean, Danny, you were at my house months ago and we went through a whole session at night. What did we do? We drank 12 different beers, right? I like going through a catalog, as many different things as I possibly can. But right now this changes on season, mood, all that kind of stuff. But right now, I'm just really into imperial sours. I'm enjoying them. Different. They don't really taste like beer, to be honest, in my opinion. And there's just kind of they're getting really creative. Some are even jumping the shark, so to speak. I think doing too much. But it's an interesting style. The flavor profile very much what I like. I like sour things, and so for me right now, I would say if I had a preference, if I was out to go get beer by myself, I would probably search for an 8 to 10% imperial sour.
Nice. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I think I'm with you guys on that. I like trying every beer. If I had to just only take one, though, I would take like a Marzahn. I love that it's like a meal. I love that it's just a. I mean, the thing about it is I like to drink a lot, like plenty. I like to go to a volleyball game and whack down 14 or 15 beers. But, Marzahns, you're not going to be able to do that. I think at some point you're just going to be filled up with malt. But I think it's just a really tasty beer. I don't know. Maybe I'm more European than I know. But
so, Danny, a great beer for you to try if you haven't tried it already is called a Schwarzbeer.
How do you spell that? Like,
ooh, this is nuts.
Hold on, let me go to our spelling bee champion. Hey, how do you spell Schwarz?
I think it's Schwarzbier. But it basically translates to be black beer. It's a black lager. And so it has some of those, like if you liked a Mars and you probably like a little bit of roasty notes, but you don't want it to feel heavy. So a Schwarzbier has a lower ABV. So it's like the love child of like a crispy boy and a stout. Is going to be a Schwarzbier. But my sister, I actually just did a podcast episode about this. The Schwarzbier is the only beer that everybody in my family enjoys. My dad likes it because it's a really traditional beer. It's a beer flavored beer. My mom likes it because she likes roasty notes. I like it because it's just a cool beer. And my sister likes it because she's the cool sister still. Like she's still going out with her friends and stuff. Like she's still fun. I'm not fun anymore. But she likes that she can drink along with her friends and go drink for drink with her friends. If you did that with, some stouts and porters with higher ABVs, you're going to go home before all of them. So Schwarzbier would be my recommendation for you guys.
Here you go. This is a Schwarzbier right here. So you can see the color. It almost has the color of a porter.
It's beautiful. And they're very transparent. So it's not quite as like thick. Honestly, it's going to be lighter than the wit beer than we're drinking right now as far as like weight on your tongue. But yeah.
Yeah, that's something we got to bring that on the show, Nate. Thanks for bringing that up. That looks really exciting.
Yeah, it's cool.
One of the things that you said is really interesting that we've been talking about styles of beers and stuff like that is, this is what we're drinking now, the Avery White Rascal. It's the Belgium, but you said your family all likes it. And then what's cool about that is because not only just your family, but let's extend this to the broad spectrum of people. They have probably no idea what the hell is out there, and they are afraid to try it because of the fact that they had an IPA back in 2001, and it was rank, and it just killed them. But, like, you got everything from sours to Marzahns to shit that I can't pronounce to just, like, there's just such a wide variety of beers out there. And here's the part that I really want to hone in on. Now, you're drinking the chili lime salt with the white beer, but Natalie with Beer Feelings has these beer salts that she makes, and they're just really, really great because they add a different profile that brings a whole nother aspect to someone that maybe not is accustomed to drinking a different beer. They're just used to, an old Milwaukee or something like that with a little bit of salt. But Natalie, talk to us about these salts. And look, if this is your first time checking out the show, dive in. Check out some other styles of beers, some other flavors and stuff like that. you know, me and Nate have tried so many dessert beers on this show. A lot of them are kind of iffy, but a lot of them are not bad. So you might like that. But with the salts, I think that really brings in a new level of game.
I was going to say, let's start with those dessert beers. So when you guys were drinking the beers, it sounds like maybe that wasn't your favorite sip that you've ever tasted. So talk to me a little bit about why was that not your favorite?
Nate?
Which one?
Just
like
in general.
What is the reasoning by particular beer that I don't like? For me, it could be, you know, I compare it to other beers of that hell, and maybe I think it's or missing the mark. They're getting to. It can be, you know, the alcohol content. There's a lot of different variables, but you know, really, it has to do with comparison to other beers in that, you know, on that spectrum.
Sure. With the dessert beers or the pastry stouts, did you guys find them too sweet? Like, did it just push too far?
Some.
For sure. So
but there's a lot that are perfect. You know, one.
Absolutely.
You know, the cannoli beer. No, I was gonna say we had a cannoli beer that was pretty sweet.
Biscotti break.
We're not gonna bring up this Biscotti de Prado. We opened a can that was sitting for a year, Natalie, and it just didn't work out very well.
It was.
I was going to say, this is like the perfect layup. Do you want me to go ahead? Like, you've queued me up for my beer lesson. Do you want me to just like run with it?
Hell yeah. Bring it on.
So, I promise we're going to get back to beer, salts, and sugars, but my life's goal, like I mentioned earlier, is really, I would love it if people stop settling for so-so beers. It's cool if you want to go get drunk and that's why you're drinking beer. Like, that's awesome. That's fine. You're allowed to do that. But what if we did it with a beer that you were just so excited about? Like, doesn't that sound like a better way to drink? Like, I think it does.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take that.
Something.
Absolutely. So today what I want to share with you is 3 things that you can start doing right now to make that happen, to start moving in the direction of let's make our beers do a little bit of extra work and let's make them make us happy. So I'm glad I'm talking about this on the first beer instead of on the second beer, or else it would get a little more slurred. But
I'm like zoning out. I'm so interested. I forget that I'm on the show too. I'm like,
at this point. So take notes. No, this should be really easy. So the first thing that we need to do is identify, right? So this is the best part for me because it just means drinking a lot of beer. So in order to know what you like and what you don't like, you need to try a hazy. You need to try an IPA. You need to try a wit beer. You need to try multiple beers in that zone because there are wit beers that taste different than each other. Each brewer kind of puts its own brand. So once we've identified what we like and what we don't like, then we need to practice explaining it. So you think it would be easy to be like, I really like stouts, but you might not like all stouts. Maybe you like aggressive beers. Maybe you like cozy beers. So step 2 is putting some words around what makes us happy, And that's exactly what I just made Danny and Nate do. Why did we like the pastry stout? Why did we not like the pastry stout? I'm not going to go into a ton of detail on here because I made a guide for it. So if you need some help identifying and explaining what you like and don't like in beers, beerfeelings.com/guide. It's a free craft beer tasting guide. It's 5 pages. It's cool. But the reason why I'm like making this short is because I really want to talk about step number 3. So we'll throw this in a link someplace, but beerfeelings.com/guide. And identifying and explaining gets to step number 3, which is the most important step. So I want you, now we know what we like. We can tell people what we like. And when we have something in our glass, now you can identify this is something that I like or something that I don't like. So if you like this flavor, I want you to amplify it and double down. And if maybe this flavor just isn't for you, or it's like if it's average or worse, then I want you to adjust the flavor. So an easy way that we can do this before we dive into beer, salts, and sugars is with food. So I'll use myself as an example. I really love bright, crisp, clean, and like sour flavors. A little bit on the tart side. That brings me a lot of joy. So With this beer, I would say this is leaning bright. It's leaning clean. It's not super sour, but maybe if I had like a lemon basil shandy. Ooh, that sounds good. That sounds like summer.
That does sound good.
Or like a lemon sour. Like I know
that sounds delicious.
This clean. Those are things that I love. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double down and I would pair that with like a zippy citrus salad with all those same flavor words just to make me to make my happiness double, right? But let's say on the other side, I'm drinking, I told you guys already, I like stouts. For me, they can go a little bit too bitter. Like we got a little too roast happy. They were in like the cooker a little bit too long. So if I've identified the beer is too aggressive, too in your face, an easy way that I could balance that out is with the flavor opposite. So think about flavor like a color wheel. If something is too red, you're going to add green to it. If beer is too bitter, you're going to add something bright and like sweet to it. So these are some easy things that you can do with food without having to buy anything extra. But what I've done and what Beer Feelings has done is it's made different salts and sugars so that you can start to play with flavors. You can start to do this all on your glass and you don't have to eat anything. So we have right now a line. I did put a picture. So these are our 5 signature salts and sugars. And let's just talk a little bit about it. So let's go back to that pastry stout, right? Like we said, maybe it was too sweet. So an easy thing that you could do, look how prepared I am. You could put the espresso sugar on the rim, which is meant to make your beer more bitter. And then we're able to balance out what we like and what we don't like. Today we're drinking the chili lime beer salt. So I would say, Nate, like what I'm experiencing anyways is an amplify on the chili lime salt. I like the citrus profile in the beer. We added more citrus on the salt. Are you experiencing something similar?
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's a counter.
Absolutely. So that's a good like amplify. We know what we like. We're getting twice the benefit out of it. If like I personally am not a big fan of like boring beers, I guess is like the best way to describe it. So I use the chili lime beer salt as like, let's not live in boring land anymore. Let's add some excitement. If you have a sweet beer, you could throw in the chai cream beer sugar to kind of like level that up. So that's it, guys.
Wow.
Easy as that.
Love it.
All you have to do, just identify what you like. So drink a lot of beer, start talking about why you like it, and like just be able to get out loud. Do you like big beers? Do you like little beers? Do you like loud or quiet beers? And then step 3, just with each drink, either double down and amplify or adjust so that it makes you happier. And then we can stop drinking crap. Like is basically what this all circles back to. So if this sounds exciting to anybody listening, I do offer different, if you're in the Colorado area, I host in-person classes where basically we do this for 2 hours. Sometimes we do art projects. And then if you don't live in Colorado, the guide, totally free. So beerfeelings.com/guide. Or we have all these different salts and sugars and you can build your own event at home.
I recommend everybody try it. I love the chili salt. I think it's perfect for this beer, and I would like to try it on other beers. And that's really kind of the point, right?
You know what's crazy is like Nate, that's your flavor, man. Like Nate, like used to just glop chilies, like just. I mean, I've never seen anybody with more pain resistant. Well, I mean, I guess to go through YouTube, you can probably find.
Oh yeah, we've done it.
We've done it, but Nate really loves chili, and if he's enjoying it, I'm a vanilla guy, and so I'm definitely gonna go ahead and definitely gonna get that vanilla salt. And if you
have the vanilla sugar,
you get a donut salt, then he's gonna buy all of it. Yeah,
absolutely. So. And then, guys, look, if you're watching this and you're like, oh, I want one of those Tiku glasses. I want to see how to drink a beer out of it, or I want one of those salts, or you just want to support Natalie. Please, down in the description after this episode is over will be all her information. You can click on her links. We're not soliciting you, but if you are interested, go ahead and support her. She's awesome. She's doing something really cool and groundbreaking and different. And Natalie, for those people that don't really understand, like you know, when I hear like loud and aggressive, when you're talking about beers, like what exactly does that mean? Like, is the beer like?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because that maybe people don't understand. Like, what is aggressive beer? Like, you know, for me, it's
this
Colt
really
45.
roots down to like what are beer feelings, right? Like,
Yeah.
why did you name your company this? So each beer feelings get easier and easier to express the more that you practice them. I think the easiest place to start is with opposites. So like if you had to commit to something, does this beer feel big to you or small, or like where does it live on that spectrum? And you could like for me, this beer is pretty in the middle. Like this beer is pretty, it's not big and it's not small. Then okay, does it feel like if this beer had a voice, would it be loud or quiet? And again, I would say this beer is pretty in the middle. Like, would you guys agree?
I definitely agree.
So now we can start to like level up, right? Like those are pretty straightforward terms, and they're going to mean something a little bit different to everyone. Like maybe you're a really loud person. I'm a really chatty person. So chatty means something different to me than to my guy who's in the back room and would be fine if he said like 7 words total in the day. So chatty means something different. But I think if we start with like big, small, quiet, loud, things like that, then we can start. And this is where like the guide really helps. Basically what I've done, I should have one right here, but I don't. But I basically made a word bank where all you have to do is check off boxes. Does this beer feel pompous? Does this beer feel intimidating? Does this beer feel? And so the more, like I said, the more you get into it, start with big, small, quiet, soft. Like, is it a bully or a victim? Like that's where it starts to get really fun with beer. And then we can like dive down even more. And yeah, I'm just gonna, you don't have the guide yet, so I can like keep doing these teasers. So the guide starts by saying, okay, we've identified these feelings words. Day 1, then we talk about, okay, if this beer was a color and a texture, and I don't want you guys to say like yellow, but if it had like an aura, or if it was some kind of creature, what kind of color would you give it? And then what would the texture be? For me, this would be.
Oh, I like the little swirl.
Orange. Like it would be bright and smiley. It would be a little glowy. It would be like effort, like kind of day glow. Orange is kind of what I would say about this. So that's where we start with the guide, and then ultimately end up, I won't ruin all the surprises along the way, but our final day together, we say, okay, if this beer was a person and this beer took you on a date, where would you go? What would you do? Did you like the date? And would you tell your friends about it? And that's a really easy way to say, like, if you wouldn't tell your friends about the beer date that you went on, you probably don't like it. So stop settling for that beer. So like this beer for me is like reliable is a word that I would call it. It's like maybe on the first date, if I went out with this beer, it would be a nice guy. Do you guys know what that means when women say that?
It means there's potential, but you're not gaga.
Okay, yeah.
It's like well, it's definitely not like, oh, he took me to Jack in the Box for a fillet of fish.
So it's almost like calling someone a nice guy is almost like a nice way for a lady to be like, there was nothing wrong with him, but I wasn't really like into it. Like, would you want
this guy I know?
Maybe. Now I'm teaching you guys about women and dating and all of that.
No, I love it. I need all the tips. Well,
if your beer is just a nice guy and you wouldn't go on a second date with him, stop drinking it. Like, go get the heartthrob. Go get the one night stand beer.
What is your one night stand beer?
My one night stand beer is probably.
Wait, hold on. Is one night stand referencing is fun time or a bad mistake? Because it could be two
different. It's a good point.
I mean, I guess it depends on you. For me, a one night stand beer would be something that I was really excited to drink, and I was excited that I was able to taste it. I don't know that I'm going to go for a second one. So probably I don't have like one specific beer in mind, but there's some really heavy like Baltic Porter Imperial that are almost like syrupy. because they're so alcoholic. They have so much flavor. I
Therapy.
like going on the journey. I like going on the adventure. Do I want to drink a 6-pack? No, like I don't want to get alcohol poisoning. But that would probably be my one night stand beer, or a chili beer, maybe that's like so spicy that like it's exciting and it's cool and you're having a great time, but it's like almost too spicy. Like you got to go drink a bunch of water afterwards. So this is my life, guys. This is how I think about food.
I love it because the way that I associate it is like if I brought a 6-pack or a 12-pack of Avery White Rascal to a party, and I handed it to the guy, whose party it was at, he would be like, "Oh, cool, you got White Rascal. Oh, this is good." It puts in the fridge and whatever. Or whoa, okay. Or when you brought that one beer, like, holy fuck, man, he brought the beer. It's like, he brings that one beer that everyone really likes, and it's just like it gets you like charged up, like, yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's how I would refer to the White Rascal. But hey, I love all the explanation. I love all this, Nate. I mean, this is great stuff, huh?
Yeah, I mean, so I kind of approach it in a similar fashion, and dating agenda too is that as a man, you look for the exclusive 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're defined, right? They're just hard to find, and they're hard to find in the other direction, right? So it's like you're seeing for this. So Pliny the Elder out of Russia, I can't get my hands on it. I got to go up there to get it. I like the exclusivity of that. Treehouse beer, if you have to go to Boston or you have to go to Massachusetts.
Yeah.
That, like, for me, that's exciting, is trying to find getting a heady topper in Las Vegas when I have to go to Mont to get it. So for me, that's kind of what I look for is exclusivity. And I like those beers that the reason you can't get it is because purposefully and strategically not distributing to you.
So it's hard to get. Like, you like someone that, exclusive, great beer word, great beer feeling word. You like the chase of it.
Yeah.
You like the game of it.
Well, guess what, guys? You're married, Nate, and you have a long-term relationship. So it looks like I'm the only one-night stand fella in the house.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that, guys. Let's go ahead and whack this down, and I want to give it a score, and then we're going to bring up the show and tell with Natalie. Woo! All right, the White Rascal.
I like that beer.
All right, taste. Look, it's delicious. There's not really anything bad to say about it. We talked a lot about, I guess it's a nice beer. It's not something that I would go and get all the time, but it is something that I will never refuse. It's not something that if it was there, I would tell people to drink it. I think overall it's got a really clean taste. It's refreshing. It's made for hot days, but also could be enjoyed at just room temperature or when you got the heater on. Delicious beer. I'm giving the White Rascal taste a 4.0.
I'm going 4.0 too. I really like it. But again, I can't go all the way to the top because of the fact it is a beer. It's a middling style to me. It's not my favorite. I don't dislike it. I will drink a place. There's a day for it. It's a sunny down a boat at the beach. So I do like that. And I think within its style, it's one of the better ones. Right? Yeah. And it's one of the better ones that are mass distributed, like Avery can do. It's an Allagash. It's a White Rascal. I like it 4.0.
I'm a little, this is my nice guy for me. Like, would I keep going on dates with this beer? Probably. Would I end up married to it? I don't know. Like, I don't know. So I gave it a 3.5 on taste. I'm very pleased with it. I'm very, I have no complaints on it. But for me, this is like just above a so-so beer.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Price. Look, it's a good price. This one I bought for $2. It's $1.99. So you're not going to beat that price. It's a good beer. You know what you're going to get. It's right at the standard 3.5.
So mine was $2.00. And I think that's a fair price. It's not price. It's not free. But the price for a beer that sits at 5.6%. You're going to have a couple of these things. You're probably going to get it in a 6-pack. So for me, 3.5.
Nice.
You guys are so funny. I gave my price a 5. This is one of the easiest beers to get in Colorado at any grocery store. You don't have to go to the liquor store to find it. It's priced really well. I think it's $10 or less for a 6-pack here. So I'm giving it a 5 just based on like Colorado beer landscape.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Love it. All right, let's go with the design. Look, I don't know. I like this Rascal. I think that's kind of cool. One thing I don't like about it is you got to kind of tilt everything to look at the two different things, right? So there's a lot of stuff going on here, a lot of text. Like it looks like a biology book. Like you have the A, it tells you the brewery, it tells you White Rascal. All the fonts are different. They have all the information, but it's a lot. I wish that this White Rascal was somehow like, see how I got to go, oh, it's the White Rascal and turn it every time? Or if I went like this and went White Rascal. So I'm not thrilled about it, but overall, it's not bad. I just don't love it. I'm giving it a 2.5 on design.
Okay, I do like the design, and I also have the same issues with it. And I like a story to be involved on the can or the bottle. I like them to tell us what thinking when they're making the beer. That's slightly on here because they're giving you the ingredients. There's no story. That's fine. They don't go through the theatrics. But brewed with Rocky Mountain, malted barley, malted wheat, coriander, curacao, hops, and Belgian yeast. Authentic, zesty, mischief, 3.5.
3.5. Okay.
I also gave it a 3.5. I think I like the simplicity of the can. I like that they chose a color palette and they stuck with it. I like that they didn't like color vomit all over it. But I do think it has something to be desired, especially based on like some of the local artist cans, or I think they're called Wandering Forager, maybe.
I don't know.
And they do these like beautiful like watercolor landscapes. So I'm not offended by this can, but 3.5.
Okay, yeah. Hey, look, some people like all the font and the simplicity of it. Definitely like that they stuck with the same palette as their haziest, so they kind of continue that theme through all
of their cans are like this, by the way.
Yeah, I like
that.
I've had some of their other IPAs, and it's basically like a character or a shot. So they're pretty consistent.
Let's go to accessibility. Like Nate said, you can find this beer just about any big city in the United States. You can probably start finding it in bigger cities throughout the world. I would have to say that you might be able to find it in places like Mexico City and France, Paris, Rome, and maybe you find it some American bars over there. I feel like they have some type of distribution over there. So I'm going to go ahead and give them a good score on accessibility just for being so popular in the U.S. 4.0 for me.
Yeah, I'm giving them a 3.0. I'm not sure that they're in those countries. I'm not going to make the assumption. They're a brewer here, so the majority of the major metropolises in America, you're going to be able to find this, but probably not all. For me, I'll go through 3.0. No.
For me, I only know what I know, and that is the Colorado market. And you will not go into a single grocery store, liquor store, convenience store, maybe if they have a liquor license, without seeing a White Rascal. So from my Colorado box, giving it a 5.0.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. All right.
It's very I like this. I don't like this. I like this.
No, it's great. TMD X Factor, great beer. But more to what Natalie was saying earlier on the show when she first came on about beer feelings. It's about the people that you're drinking with. And I'm here with my co-host. Absolutely love having each and every week the opportunity to drink with Nate, but also with Natalie, who brings so much to this episode. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give the TMD X Factor on this one a 4.5. And the reason it's not 5.0 is because, it wasn't the greatest taste for me. If it was like a 5, 4, so 4.5, a really big score for me. So delicious TMD X Factor. Nate, what about yourself?
4.0 for me. It really, again, I just echoing what Danny said. It's able to drink with the two of you. I'm enjoying it. Having Natalie on the show, getting to showcase her product line is just exciting for me. Having a female in this space is exciting for me. So 4.0, I'm super happy with it.
Great.
You guys are so I need to talk to you every Monday morning to get me pumped up for work. But I also gave this a good, so I'm calling my X Factor the feelings factor. This is a beer that I can count on. It tastes the same every time. I know what I'm getting. I know, this is my nice guy. This is the guy that I can call up and he's going to be my date to the wedding and is going to listen when I'm upset. So I gave it a 4.0 from a feelings factor.
Hey, I gotta love it. And what else I love is this: Wish You Were Beer show is here. Welcome, hey, Wish You Were Beer. Wish You Were Beer was on the show 3 weeks ago, and we had an absolute banger of a time.
Oh, great, so much great fun. Time, great.
Wish You Were Beer. You need to get in touch with Natalie with Beer Feelings on Instagram or whatever. If you guys want to, talk to each other, maybe you guys can do something on your show. Great guest, and always good to see you too. I gave the score of the White Rascal Belgium style ale from Avery an 18.5. Oh, great score. What'd you give it? An 18. Hey.
Pretty good.
My accessibility and the price factor really weighed in here. We're at a 21.
Whoa. Very nice. Very nice. Hey, that's a local one. I look forward to following your IG, Natalie. See, perfect.
Thank you so
connecting
much.
People. I love it. Hi, Wish. That means Wish You Were Beer. Welcome. All right, so we all gave this beer a phenomenal score. Mates, I'm going to go ahead and run to the restroom. If you can take over for a second, please do.
All right. Yesterday, guys, Natalie, when it's March Madness. I don't know if you're a college basketball fan.
I'm a March Madness fan because that's a sports competition I can participate in while not knowing anything about sports. So I have Kansas slated to win, I think.
I think they're a 1 or 2.
A reasonable choice, I feel like.
They might have lost yesterday. I don't remember.
Did they? Oh, my God.
Well, listen, I was out watching the game. I live in Las Vegas. For those of you that have never heard of a place called Circa, I'd like to share with you where I was yesterday. Up their website, they got a pretty cool live video stream. That's where I was watching March Madness yesterday. That is Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. I was right in the middle. As you walk, like there's all the concessions are in the front. That walkway right there, I was right there in the middle. What a great time! I'm phenomenal. My friends, I had a friend in town, Mike. He's a firefighter out of New York City. I used to live in New York City back in the early 2000s, and had spent some time with my friends yesterday. That was an awesome day. I wanted to share with you guys. If you're ever in Vegas, hit me up, and also check out Circa. Great place.
What the hell? There's TVs by the pool. First of all, what was that thing that I
missed a lot, Danny?
Did you miss
it? We'll go to the bathroom again.
Yeah. What was that?
Danny. There you go. That's it. That's where I was. I told you about it last night.
A lot of dudes, though, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got. But there's like 3-4 different pools. I see.
Looks like
Easy. That's why my face is as red as it is. So.
Okay. All right, guys. If you're ever in Vegas, check out Circa. But if you're here on the show, we got another beer to go, and I am excited about trying this one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, baby. So get ready. It's about time to start beer number 2. The second beer comes to us also from the state of Colorado, and I'm excited to go ahead and bring you guys. We've done a few beers from this company before. They've all been outstanding. This one is not going to let us down, I feel like, too. It's the new craze, and I'm talking about the Haze IPAs from New Belgium, Voodoo Ranger, the Juicy Haze IPA. Wow. I like it. Boom. All right. Yeah, I'm excited. Nate, what's the IPA or APV on this?
This one is 7.55%. So it's a good after that 5.6. We're going to feel my face will be a little bit more red after I finish it.
I'm visiting my grandpa later today, so I think I'm just going to be like especially great. He's probably going to watch this show later. So hello, Pop-Pops. Hello.
Yeah. All right, Pop-Pops. Well, what's going on? Get Pop-Pops some beer. All right.
Get them on the show.
Drink along with me.
All right. So let's go ahead and crack it, sniff it. I'm going to bring you good news, and then Natalie's going to show us the salt rim. Whoa. Dude. Wow.
Juicy,
man. That's like, when you walk down the grocery aisle and like you're walking through the cucumbers and the vegetables, and then you hit the grapefruits. Marissa loves Circa. All the dudes, huh? She likes all the muscular dudes hanging out at the pool. All right.
We're all muscular.
Very, very clean, very grapefruity.
Yep. Pithy.
What is it?
Pithy.
What's pithy?
You know, like when you crack open a grapefruit, it's not sweet. It's just kind of like that.
It's like bitter, but not.
Yeah, it's bitter. It's bitter. Yeah, not orangey. It's the bitter parts.
And that's called piffy?
Pith. Pith.
Huh. I didn't know that. Yeah.
This is just a big learning hour for everybody today.
Don't break my brain, guys. Don't break my brain. All right. Well, let's go ahead and pour it in, Natalie. What do you say?
Yeah, let's go. I'm you guys.
So this is not a nitro, so I'm not going to just aggressively pour it over.
That's good.
Right? But
all right,
what is this beer glass I'm pouring into?
Oh dear. Okay, we're gonna go. Grandpa Pop-Ups, if you're listening to this show, I need you to turn this off for the next 30 seconds, and then you can listen again. Mom, you too, if you're listening. So what Nate is drinking out of is an IPA glass. I was drinking out of one earlier this week. Really cool glass, but what you're seeing is it's going to have that bowl up top, which again is going to let the flavor flavs kind of develop and unwrap so that you can enjoy them, especially in something like an IPA that's a little more aromatic. That is great. What you're seeing at the bottom, which again, Pop-Ups and Mom, this is your last warning to turn off the show for the next 30 seconds. Okay, I think they turned it off now. I think it looks like anal beads. I think the bottom of that glass looks a little naughty. But what it's supposed to do is the ridges down there are
oh man, you're gonna hurt your ass.
Danny, do they look like yours?
I don't know.
Get them really up close.
I've never even seen a real pair of anal beads. Let me see. I mean,
welcome to Beer Feelings.
That's
the thing you wanted me to order online for you and put my name and send it to your house, wasn't it?
Dude. Yeah, please.
But the goal, those do have a purpose besides just making us laugh, which is as you're sipping, as you're tilting the glass over, it's going to keep the beer moving. And the more the beer moves, especially with something that's aromatic like an IPA, it's going to help unleash more of those oils from the hop. So I'm sticking to my Tiku. I had a little bit of salt left over and I didn't want to waste it. Yep, you did, Mikey.
Mike came in wrong.
Wait, what happened, Mikey? How did I come in at the wrong?
But
talking about
listen, I'm going to tell you something about Mikey. Mikey will write a whole doctrine paper about anal beads if you want. Mike, tell us, what do you know about anal beads? The dude is fucking smart. But I will tell you one thing that I noticed about this thing. It looks like somebody ashed their cigarette in my beer. There's a lot of little floating particles.
Yeah, it's under.
Yeah, it's definitely.
I have no floaties.
You don't know floaties?
I have no floaties. I'm in a little smaller glass, so maybe the floaties are living at the bottom. But
I don't have much either. Yeah,
I got a lot of floaties. Like I said, it looks like somebody saw me and said that guy's got a punch me in the face look to him, but they won't try it, so they just instead asked a cigarette in my beer, and but nevertheless, okay, I got my coaster sticking on it. Let's go ahead. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers. Solid.
Interesting.
Wow. I like it.
I need to confess something a little bit on this show. I did buy more than one of these, and I may or may not have consumed one earlier this week. And I'm enjoying it more today
than
I did before. And I can't tell you why, but no, this is good beer. Is it because I'm one beer in? Maybe.
Hey, if you got to pull out some shots, or we get the funnel, that's okay too. Look. My first sip of this beer was absolutely delicious. The juicy, hazy IPAs is a new kind of wave that I don't surf it all the time. I surf it only because we do the show. I don't know if I'd go for it, but I do like them once I start drinking them. And this one, first sip, delicious. Nate?
Yeah, it's missing something for me. I don't know what it is. It's not for 7.5. I do like a boozier hazy. I like it to have a little bit more mouthfeel. It doesn't really have a lot. It's a little bit crisper than I expected it to be, less juicy, pulpy than I want it to be. But that's just my first initial reaction to 2 sips. It can change over the course of this beer.
What do you think, Natalie? I know you said you tried it before, but what do you think of the first sip on this one?
Better today. And what I don't know is I've had the last time I like cracked it open and started drinking it right out of the fridge. Temperature will play a factor a little bit. Like you really don't want your beer super ice cold. Like you want it to warm up. So I wonder, the last time I drank it, my first sip was like an aggressive pine, which just isn't like my brand of beer that I like. This is almost creamy, I'd say. Like I know it's not a lactose beer. It's not like there's no lactose in it. And I wouldn't go as far to say it tastes like a milkshake IPA because it doesn't taste like ice cream. It doesn't taste that sweet, but I'm getting some kind of like creamy, like broccoli cream soup, like that level of cream, not like milkshake cream. This doesn't taste like broccoli, but it's just like, I'm surprised by it.
Yeah, I definitely. It's got Nate calls it chewy. I was at the parade. That's why I'm logging in late. Yeah, so I was telling people about the St. Patty's Day parade in Buffalo, and it's no joke, man.
I bet.
Yeah, it's a party. But wow, yeah, it's very chewy. It's got a like a meal kind of flavor to it. It's not boozy, but I can definitely feel it's going to be strong by the end of it.
Yeah.
Hey guys, let's go on to a little bit of show and tell. And it's time, Natalie's told us about her Beer Feelings company, what she's doing, this movement that she's not only bringing to women who want to be involved in the beer world, but just everybody that wants to be involved in the beer world. She showed us these great and sent us the great Tiku glasses with this amazing chili lime salt that Nate and Natalie tried, but she's got so many other salts. And Natalie, why don't you take us through like how to apply it and just kind of show us a little bit more about the salt?
Absolutely. So I'm really glad I didn't use my clean Tiku glass here, but we talked a little bit about why this glass is so cool. It is absolutely my favorite glass to use on any beer, partially because it looks like pretty, and I like drinking out of pretty glassware.
It's pretty.
It does look like a wine,
It does look like a wine glass, which is how I get the wine converts to come over and come visit me. But all of our salts and sugars are a little bit chunkier. Like you were able to see, I still have a little bit of salt on there. And you see that it's a little thicker particle. It doesn't look like table salt. So that means that when you're rimming your glass, another naughty term that I just wish we could avoid, but here we are. There can be a little bit, that's a really good image. So can be a little more challenging to get on. So what I would recommend if you're looking to put a really like kick-ass rim on your glass, I would get your glass totally wet. So I would just like run the faucet over, get this whole piece totally wet. And then it's always a good idea to rinse out your glass to get out any leftover soap, any dust that may be settled in there. So everything about this should have water in it. And then you want to give it a really good shake, like a Bob Ross paintbrush shake. And then what I would recommend doing is getting a little plate and making a little like anthill. This is my old salt. Anthill over here, just like you just need one pile of salt. And then for the most success, I would say dip straight down, lift up, dip straight down, lift straight up. And then if there's not a ton of salt on an area, the secret is don't go back and try again. Because by going back and trying again, the friction of the salt crystals or the sugar crystals is going to knock off. And Nate, that's what you were seeing a little bit earlier. Was you want to go back, like you get a little greedy, you want a little more salt in there, and it just knocks off everybody and everybody's out of the pool. But so beer salt is something that's been around for a while, right? Like I feel like everybody I talk to is like, oh yeah, beer salt. Like I know what that is. So our chili lime, probably our most traditional salt, has, we made it with beer in it too, but this is our chili lime salt, has chilies, has limes, has beers, really great on anything really citrusy, like the wit beer that we were drinking today, as well as anything like I put it on boring beers to kind of spice it up. The other salt that we have is our Zesty Basil beer salt. So this one has tomato, balsamic vinegar, and basil in it. And so it's really good. Actually, I might like dip my finger in it and try it on this IPA. It's really good. Mikey, you're not wrong.
Yeah, that's a good job. Hold on. Mikey says, I'm about 10 deep.
You know, Mikey, if you could come up with a new name for I get so embarrassed telling people like, yeah, I'm just rimming my glass. Yeah, I'm just putting it on the rim. It feels so naughty.
So I got to tell you a little bit about Mikey. Mikey's my friend that I grew up with. He just did 20 years in the and the Army. So he's heard it all. He's good. He's good to go. And he's 10 beers in, he says.
So he's just a loose cannon at this point.
10 beers.
I love it. We've had him on the show.
376.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Well, yeah. So where was I? Now the beer's starting to kick in. So the Zesty Basil, I think is really good at making beers taste more savory. Or if you're someone, or maybe someone you know, maybe a wife, a girlfriend, or like a drinking buddy, hasn't been able to get into IPAs just yet, the Zesty Basil beer salt basically gives them like a flavor memory connection to the hops. So sometimes why we don't like hops is because we don't understand them. We don't know where to put them in our brain. So the basil kind of gives them something to connect with. So these are our two beer salts. Man, I should call up like Lori Grenier and ask for a job on QVC after this show. Then on the
I like how you do this. Well, I don't know what it is that you do, but you're like,
okay, I can tell you why you do that. Because in the beginning of the quarantine, all of my college friends got jobs as like makeup salespeople, and your camera can judge like depth and it tries its best to focus. So it's not really focusing on the sugar here, but if I put my palm up, it focuses better. There's your millennial tip of the day.
I love a millennial tip. First of all, I gotta say, I don't mind millennials. I'm not one of those guys that ever says fucking millennials. I'm just not that guy. You know, I like everybody.
Should be. I scream at the clouds, dude.
Yeah. I'm not that guy.
This is really good. Like if you have something narrow like this, like
Danny's got some narrow.
But it helps. Maybe. It just helps your camera focus a little bit. But real quick, so we can get back to drinking together.
What are you doing? You're over there. He's over there reading. Hold on, guys. What's going on with you, bro? You over there reading a book?
No, yeah. I wanted to talk later. What a wheat beer or wit beer is. That's
Natalie, we're doing show and tell. He's over here reading.
No, it's all. I'm like, you know what? I respect what you're doing, my friend. So the last three that we have are sugars, which we really never thought about putting sugar on a glass until my friend Sarita of Glow and Gather is who makes all of these. We got together and we drank a bunch of beers and we said, well, let's just try. So the vanilla sugar is my mom's favorite.
Yeah.
It's really good for sweetening beer. So really good if you have someone in your life that just hasn't given beer a chance and they think they don't like it. I want you to get them an oatmeal stout or a vanilla stout, and I want you to put this on it, and I can almost guarantee that they'll start liking beer. But it just takes some of that like grainy aftertaste out. On the other hand,
like beer.
Sorry?
If you like beer, can say you get that an oatmeal stout with that sugar too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put this on beers that are too bitter for my taste. Like they're not bad. It's not offensive, but I just want to bring it back to neutral. Also really good on sour beers that are too tart. The sweet kind of balances out something that's too tart. On the other end of the flavor spectrum, we have the espresso beer sugar. So this helps make beers sweeter. The espresso helps make beers more bitter. So this little guy, why am I struggling? So the beer really is
great. You're doing great.
But this little guy has cocoa nibs in it too. So it kind of tastes like a little treat. So it has espresso, cocoa nibs. We made it with a local porter. So it's really meant if your beer is too sweet. So your pastry stout, great on that. If you have like a fruited blonde that's a little too sweet, delicious. It tastes like chocolate covered berries. And then our final one, which is like the biggest surprise, it seems like this is the fan favorite once they like try the whole lineup, is our chai cream beer sugar.
Really?
So for all that, like, I hope I don't hurt anyone's feelings out here, but you're going to know if I'm talking to you. But for all the basic bitches out there that line up at Starbucks and get their pumpkin spice latte, like, this is a holiday for you. The chai cream sugar basically makes any amber, brown ale, cream ale have that pumpkin spice in it. So that's it. These are all.
What do you put those on? Do you put it on a stout? So something with a darker profile that can use a little bit of.
I would put a chai cream sugar on something that's like a boring beer, like a beer flavored beer, or something that's like mid brown. So like brown ales, amber ales, nut ales would be really good on your Schwarzbeer, would be really good on a cream ale. But yeah, I use the chai cream to like fix a beer flavor. Like, well, that's kind of mean for the brewer. I don't want to be mean to the brewer, but I want to. What is that? What's more?
No, that's what the.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. Well,
oh my gosh!
I don't think that you're being mean to the brewer. I think what you're doing is you're offering the ability to enhance the beer, and like I would say you're helping the brewer by broadening.
That's the beer.
Broadening. Yeah, I'm stuck on a word.
So I do have a question.
The audience.
We talk a lot about beer, IPAs, imperial, right? What would you recommend out of your sugar salts that they can someone that drinks a Miller Lite, a Bud Light, a Coors Light, a Bud Heavy, the macro beers? That's a lot of people will still drink that beer. What do you recommend for something like that, just to enhance it a little bit?
For you or for them?
For anybody. Yeah.
I would say, well, if there's someone who thinks that like the macro beers are the best thing on earth, what they need is a firm kick to the head. Is what in my opinion.
Not on the ass. Just knock them out, right?
Yeah, just like they've had quite enough. Like, all love though. My sister's boyfriend is really big into Busch Light, and so he and I joke a lot. He gets mentioned on the podcast a lot. But I would say, like, okay, so someone like us that appreciates craft beer, that really wants to like drink something just a little more exciting. I think if it's a sweeter beer, throw the chai sugar on it. If it's a more savory beer, then throw the chili lime salt on it, is what I would do. If it's someone like, so that's for existing craft beer lovers. For people who are only into the macro beers, what I would suggest is, I think they need to tune into their feelings first. Like, why don't they like craft beer? Is it a price thing? Like if they just want to get drunk really cheaply, like, I can't help them. If they want to have a really good time and drink things that taste delicious, then let's start unraveling, like, why don't you like craft beer? Is it too bitter? Is it too strong? Is it too, like, I would say maybe those people are drinking the wrong styles. And then we could use some of these salts and sugars as tools to say, okay, you thought like you like drinking Guinness, but drinking a stout from a brewery is a little too much. Let's use the salts and sugars to help adjust so that you're drinking something you like. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
a year and a half in.
it makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
I will. Hold on, I'm typing something. Lunatic, if you're still listening, please. I know your birthday is on the 22nd. I will call you on Tuesday or send you a message. I will sing you happy birthday on the show next week. Thank you for stopping by. So I wanted to, make a point that you were saying is like a lot of these people that like the macro beers and stuff like that, they're used to paying $12.99 and you get 18 beers. And I think it's important to say, like, hey, now you only get 4 and it's $16.99.
Or
so
$4. Like the pricing has gone out of control. Now what they're doing is, I see the game. They went into the 16-ounce can ABV. when the ingredients aren't that much different, but they're able to charge $7.99 for a single can as opposed to a $1.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would say, like, if you have a macro friend that's just like victim to the macro beer industry, like, and you want to get them into craft beer, an easy way that they can start exploring in a budget-friendly way, invite them to a brewery and have them do a flight of beers. Like, it's going to be a little bit more expensive than a full pour of beer, but they get to try a lot more.
Mhm.
And maybe then they do uncover, like, hey, sours are really cool. Dark beers are really cool. Like, there's some weird, cool stuff out there. And maybe we won't,
beer, everyone.
but I think like what I can't, the objection that I can never overcome is Busch Light is a lot cheaper than going to a brewery. Like, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I would rather spend my dollars and my calories on something that tastes so good and makes me so happy. Like, that's more important to me. Even if I get 2 beers instead of 30.
Yeah, I mean, look, I could see both. I could see where other people like the habitual drinking of a lot. So there is something to be said to that. But I'm with you,
yesterday, Danny. That's what I was doing. If you're at a pool, you can't be drinking IPAs all day.
Oh, you're flatline.
Well, you could.
I would have been done at 2 in the afternoon, But so I drank high noon. I drank Michelob Ultra.
Right.
That's what you do when you're at the pool.
Right. Corona is my macro beer. Like, if I'm just going to like a barbecue and it's going to be a long day or a lake or something, like Corona with lime, that's what I want to drink. And that's okay. Like, there's a time and place for it. Yeah. It's just like, the question that I ask those people is like, why are you trying to drink? Are you trying to drink to get drunk? Are you trying to drink because it's cheap? Or are you trying to drink because it tastes good? And if the taste good is what you're interested in, or if you're a foodie, like, that's the best way to think. Like, are you eating? Actually, I have a good example. My boyfriend, like, he's inconvenienced by eating food. He eats so that his body can continue to like produce energy and survive. I eat food because like I earn money so that I can eat food versus he eats food so he can earn money. So for him, like, if I just got a box of like Costco granola bars, he would be fine. He would be fine. That would be worse than like a death sentence for me. So I think it's similar in beer. Like, why are you drinking? If you want to have a tasty time, we can help you.
No, I think it's important.
To your macros.
It's an important thing to talk about with beer drinkers. Is, we're not trying to twist your arm, but we're just trying to make both points seen. I will say this. Mike has got us on loud at the Buffalo Irish Center. Salante. Yeah. Welcome to the Buffalo Irish Center. All right. We are not drinking Irish beer. Hey. We are drinking New Belgium Voodoo Ranger. Okay. This is the Juicy Haze IPA. It's delicious. Guys, it's time to get in. Whoa.
Oh, my.
Yes.
No spillage. I lost the little.
Usually that happens to me. I spill shit all over the place.
No, it's this.
That's why we're black.
It's so bad.
It's this little doohickey thing. All right, let's go on. Let's go to the What Would You Rather segment. Our favorite, everybody's favorite. I don't know. Here we go. What would you rather? Go ahead, let us know in the comments, or wait till the show's over and let me know. I'd love to hear what you think. But we're doing all Colorado. We have Natalie with Beer Feelings here. We're doing all Colorado. And the first one, where would you rather go? I'm going to give you a ticket. You can go check this place out. Where would you rather go? Garden of the Gods. Okay, look at this beautiful place. All right. Beautiful. You got your lush forests going on. You got your crazy rock formations. Pretty cool looking place. Or we're doing a first callback, what we did from last week, because we're doing another Colorado. I'm going to give you a ticket, and you can go to the Great Sand Dunes National Park or Preserve. Oh, Natalie, I see you shaking your head, but a lot of people see this. Wow, that doesn't look like Colorado right there. It looks like they photoshopped it. You got the guy, he's snowboarding down the sand hill. That's kind of cool, with the mountains in the back and the forest just in the peripheral. But I don't know. When I kind of look at this thing, I wanted to check out the dunes. I like sand dunes, but I love forests. rocks are really cool. I don't think you can hike those particular ones, but I'm sure you can hike around there. Maybe Natalie can touch on that a little bit. I'm going with the Garden of the Gods, Nate.
Whoa, Garden of the Gods. I kind of appreciate that. There's something about the sand dunes being in the middle of Colorado that's interesting to me. You know, like it's such a lush, forested area that seeing that must be beautiful to see all the surrounding areas and the contrast with the sand. So give me the sand dunes.
All right, I'm gonna unleash some truth on everyone.
Yeah.
Garden of the Gods is the right answer. So Garden of the Gods is down in Colorado Springs. There's a bunch of cool hiking and walking trails around there. So it's super accessible for you to just like drive up, park your car, and really go and like be a piece of like seeing these cool rocks. So love that. What I do, oh my gosh, the pretzel salt.
There you go.
Okay,
there you
I
go.
see you, Mike. So the sand dunes, all the like really cool. I mean, I'm a Coloradan, so I'm a little spoiled. So like I've had the wonderful opportunity of being able to see all of these things. The sand dunes, when I think about sand, I think about a warm beach, right? Like I think about like a Mai Tai in my hand and like relaxing. It's not. It's cold. It is cold sand. The sand still gets in every part of your body. We went when I was a lot younger, but we tried sledding and it just like, it didn't work. So I don't know how people are snowboarding down them. Like maybe you need a really waxed board or something. I don't know. But my answer 100% of the time and my recommendation, if you're coming to Colorado, go to Garden of the Gods. Easier to get to on a road. The sand dunes are kind of in the middle of nowhere, but I forgive you, Nate. It's okay that you feel that way.
Okay, yeah. Hey, look, there's no right or wrong answer. We'll go to the Garden of the Gods.
Right.
Nate, have fun getting sand in your crotch. All right, going with the number 2. All right, we're going to start a football team. I just inherited. I won the lottery. I bought a football team.
Lucky guy.
So I get a choice, or you get a choice of a quarterback. Who are you going to start your team with? John Elway?
Oh,
great Denver Bronco. All right. There he is. John
7.
Elway, number 7, wheeling and dealing.
The
Look at a big
he had one of the best
man right
arms
there.
in the NFL history. Played baseball too. Danny, where? What college?
Houston.
Stanford.
That's what I said. All right. There's
no quiz on this episode.
big fella. Or you're going to take another Denver great, although it was later in his career, Peyton Manning. Who are you going to start your team with? Number 18 or number 7? Goodbye, Denver. Thank you very much. Both won 2 Super Bowls. John Elway stayed with the same team, the Denver Broncos, his entire career. Manning was ousted out of Indianapolis. I have no idea why. And then he signed with Denver. Money. But who would you go with? Look at, I grew up as a kid as John Elway. Watching him all the time, saw him go through his whole career as a kid when you're most impressionable. But to me, if I was to take any quarterback, I probably would take Peyton Manning. I don't know, man. There's so many times he was so good on Indianapolis where they just didn't have the defense. I mean, they were just mopping people up. So I'm going with Manning.
Yeah, it's a really tough one for me because I love both of these quarterbacks. It was from my childhood. I love the fact that he played ball. He was a pitcher. He was drafted out of Stanford to play both sports, and he was at the time considered the best toolsy quarterback ever. But then bring in Peyton Manning, who played 18 or 19 years. And what I like about Peyton, not so much just about the football career, but his post-football career. I just absolutely love him on Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football, whatever it is, when they're on the other channel, and it's the two brothers, like ambassador for the NFL, and he's icon in my opinion. Than John Elway was incredible testament to him. So for me, I gotta go Peyton Manning.
Oh, okay, all right. And how about for the Coloradan?
I have to stick with my Colorado loyalty. John Elway, I think, was the first football player that I even knew the name of when I was just a little girl. So I'm gonna have to go with the one and only John Elway.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that answer.
Nothing wrong. Look, there's no right or wrong. All right, now that brings us right into Denver food. Question number 3. I hear Denver's pretty very famous, or Colorado in general, for their lamb. Okay, lamb. I did a little research and what food is very popular, and lamb just kept showing up on like everything. So
it's delicious. Yeah.
yeah. So look at those lamb chops, beautifully. I got. So I mean, oh gosh, those look good. Or would you choose, or rather, this one is from Pueblo, Colorado, and it's called the Slopper.
Whoa! What is that thing? What is it?
Apparently, this is a green chili doused over a burger on a plate. But I think there's some other pictures, some different styles. Look at that one, hash brown crowns. Wow. All right, I mean that just looks like a mess, but man, I've never seen the Slopper before. Natalie, have you heard of this one before?
I've seen a lot of green chili stuff. There's a lot of green chili around here, and especially in the fall, you'll see a bunch of like green chili roasters. If we have time for a story, I'll tell you the story about how I severely burnt myself, but we'll save that if we only have time. But green chili is really popular. For me, the obvious answer is lamb. I cooked lamb earlier this week. It's delicious meat. It's a delicacy, and like benefit. Boyfriend he's carrying laundry downstairs right over here. So I just saw him. He doesn't like lamb. So when I cook it, I get to be like, oh, I forgot. You don't like this.
I get it all myself.
So lamb is going to be the obvious answer for me. But green chili is delicious here in Colorado.
I love lamb, but this one is a no-brainer for me. I'm going with the Slopper. All right. Anytime. I'm sorry. Anytime I can roll into a new state and be like, give me the Slopper, give me the Clobbler, or give me the, anything with an adjective on it. Yeah, I'm in. I'm totally in. Give me the Slopper.
Right. So for me, it's dude. All right. If I'm talking about longevity for the rest of my life, go with the healthier option, which would be lamb. I'm not doing that for one meal. I'm eating that sloppy, and I love green chilies.
So good.
Massive fan of it. Just it dressed over that burger with the tater tots. One meal. If I'm on death row, I'm choosing that.
I didn't know it was.
I can't hate on any of that.
I didn't know it was popular in Colorado. I knew it was popular in Mexico, but I didn't know Colorado.
Yeah.
Similarity, but
no, it's very. I've made green chili once in my life. Like, if you want to know the story, I'll tell you the story. If not, like,
we want to know the story.
No worries. Yeah. So okay. So you go. I'll see what I can do to make like the Reader's Digest version of this. But here in Colorado, like along the main like road corridors in the fall, what you'll see is these big like barrels where they're going to fire roast these green chilies, and they do it right in front of you. So you go, Nate's going to grab a picture. It's going to be beautiful. But you get these big barrels and there's huge flames. So it's hard to miss, like, when it's green chili season. And so what you do is you go and you choose your bushel of peppers, and then they just throw it in this roaster and they turn it. They hand it to you in a trash bag, which sounds a little questionable, but that helps sweat the skins off. Like, you're a foodie guy. So like the skin, like if you give it some moisture, you can just kind of like slip it off then at that point. So I love green chili. I've always loved green chili. I love food and I love cooking. And my boyfriend really loves spicy food. So I was thinking, like, I'm going to be the girlfriend of the year. This is the first year that we're dating. And so I go to one of these stands and you have to choose like mild, medium, hot, or like ridiculous. And yeah, Greeley's kind of so-so. Like, tell him to move to Denver, but that's okay. But I ended up choosing, I was like, well, mild seems kind of like a weak choice. So let's go with medium. So we roast the medium. He hands me this huge, it's like 5 to 10 pounds of pepper. So it's a lot. I take it back to my apartment. And so you leave it in the trash bag for an hour and then you skin them. And my dad gave me the trick that if you go ahead and you slice them like really thinly into strips, you can freeze them in little bags and then you don't have to use them all at once. You can enjoy them all year round. And so I am peeling these peppers for like 1 hour and then 2 hours and then 3 hours. And my hands felt really tingly. And I was like, this is kind of weird. Like maybe I just need to wash them. So I turn the water as hot as I can and I start scrubbing my hands and I wash them 2 and 3 and 4 times. and they're feeling worse and worse and worse. And then they started swelling. And it was pretty painful. And so I called my dad and I was like, Dad, what's going on? Like, I got these peppers. And he goes, oh yeah, before you start doing anything, make sure you put on gloves because the capsaicin in the peppers will get into your skin and you will get a chemical burn from them. And I'm 3 hours in and I'm like palms deep in this stuff. Like all my fingers, I have pretty skinny fingers, but they look like sausages. And now this new boyfriend is coming over and I'm cooking pork green chili. I was in so much pain.
Oh my gosh.
It's the worst pain I've ever been in. So then I went through, my roommates were both out of town. So I started throwing my hands inside milk. I started running them under cold water. I took a cold shower. I did everything that I could and I just couldn't make it better. So then my boyfriend comes over and I'm still trying to like impress him. And so I'm like, oh, here's the chili. Like, isn't this great? Isn't this wonderful? I take one bite and I just start screaming and sobbing because it was too much pepper like in my body. The only thing that worked though, like if you ever do this, yellow mustard, just plain yellow mustard. You have to put it on like lotion, but yeah, that's my green chili story. We've been together for 5.5 years. So I mean, if I didn't scare him off.
Yeah, no, I think you might have invited him to stay longer. That's awesome.
He thought it was hilarious. He laughed a lot. And I said, if we stick together, like, we're going to have a good time.
And last of this story, please wear gloves if you're going to be handling green chili.
We're
drinking the Voodoo Ranger. We're almost through it. Now let's get to the bands, okay? You're going to go to a band. Which one would you rather go see? How to Save a Life, The Fray. All right. Denver, Colorado. Look
that
at
guy on the left.
Just
can't deal with that head.
All right. So, one of them's got good hair. All right. The other one. No, these guys are great. I mean, their sound, look, it might not be your thing, but let's never forget. Look at the setup they got right there. Those dudes can jam and they can play music. And the guy who's singing, whether or not you like the words that he's saying, if you really probably listen to him or you just actually read them without the vocals, you probably would say, wow, this is pretty cool. I think the phrase great. So that's number one. Or would you rather go with the string cheese incident? Look at these jammers, dude.
This guy's my favorite.
Which guy?
Favorite out of those six right there. Who do you like?
Wait, which guy's your favorite? Jimmy?
I like the there's something about the guy with the weird owl hair in the back left. Like,
I mean, they're all a little bit
probably
strange,
the bass player, I guess.
The pictures, what's the strangest? It looks like they said they're on a boat and they're like, hey, let's meet down in the cabin and do a little blow, and then we'll go back and jam. All right, man, look at them. These guys are like Grateful Dead. If you don't know. Fish. They're a jam band, but they're pretty popular in the late 90s. They still probably tour. They're probably really big in Vermont. They're probably really big in places in Colorado. Both bands, The Fray and the String Cheese Incident, are phenomenal. I'm going to have to go with The Fray on this one. I'm not really a jam band guy, but I like a little more top 40, but I'm going to go with The Fray.
I don't know. I'm going to go
Can I borrow?
What's their name? The brush kit? What was their name?
String Cheese Incident.
String Cheese Incident. I'm going to go with them because I only know one song by the Fray, and I'm okay with it. I'll go with this. I like the name. They're a jam band. It reminds me of my friend John Boggs. So I'm going to go with them. Natalie?
I think, Nate, we've disagreed on everything, which I respect, and I like the clash of opinions. I'll go with The Fray, but I will counter with my own option. Is 303 big outside of Colorado? Like, do you guys know who 303 is?
I've never heard of them, but I'll iTunes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's like these two like Boulder bros. You're gonna have to look them up. They were really big in like the late 2000s. 303, yeah.
Like,
and their symbol looks like this.
Yeah. These guys.
Because see, like 303. Yeah, those guys. That's 303. So
technology is a thing, isn't it?
303 is the zip code, or not the zip code, the area code here.
Right.
Like the first area code in Colorado is 303. So that's the band. So if anybody does this to you, they're like truly from Colorado. But I'll choose the Fray if those are my only two choices. But I'll choose 303 if I can, like, dealer's choice, throw my own in there.
I like it. What's dealer's choice?
I'm making up rules as we go.
I like it. Welcome to the show, Wonder Strudel. All right, guys. Now the last one. This one, we've been talking a lot about this particular subject. For the rest of your life, if you had to give up one, we're not going to get into disgusting things. We already talked about anal beads. So if you had to give up one of these for the rest of your life, what would it be? Salt or sugar? All right. Ooh, that one's a tough one, but an easy one.
What? It's not a tough one.
I don't know. I mean, health-wise, yeah, one way, but I'm giving up the salt. I'll take the sugar, please. Yeah. It's either.
Come on, dude.
All right.
This is your worst answer so far on the show.
No, dude. I would rather be fat than have high blood pressure.
But you don't have to use a lot of salt to make the salt worth it, right?
Well,
you need to use a lot of sugar to make it worth it.
I don't know.
You don't know.
For me,
I am absolutely getting rid of sugar. It's a no-brainer.
Nate, for the first time, we agreed on something. I would give up sugar. I think I could replace it with some stuff. I think I could eat, like, I think there's some other sweet things I could eat. Like, I could eat fruit. I could eat, I don't know, like, just fruit, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But salt, like, think about like a steak. The difference between a steak that's salted and a steak that's just like,
yeah. You can live without sugar, no problem.
Yeah.
Live without salt. Now, Danny, like you said earlier in the show, he's potatoes vanilla kind of guy, so he can probably do it. For me, I couldn't.
But I bring in my other favorite, my third favorite friend, and that's butter. So
butter would be tough for me to give up.
Butter or ghee?
Butter. Well, give up ghee. I don't even know what the hell ghee is. You showed it to me in a can one time.
And that's exactly why you gave up salt.
Well, dude, no, I gave up salt because I ain't giving up. You know, every single time I go to a gas station, I walk by the Hostess things. Whether they're the ding dongs, whether they're just the original cupcakes. It is all sugar for sure. I'm getting ousted here. I don't know. All right. Well, guys, that's the What Would You Rather. This is what we're drinking. It is the New Belgium Voodoo Ranger Juicy IPA. Let's whack this down and give this beer a score because it has been one hell of a show so far.
Yeah. So this one, what is the actual name of this thing? Juicy Haze. Oh, it's Voodoo Ranger Juicy. All right.
Wait, what is it? Yeah, Juicy Haze. Okay, I call it hazy juice, but that's wrong. So this is Colonel, I think he's moving in on us. All right. The taste. Look, I'm not a huge fan of the hazies, but I like them. I think it gets convoluted between this weird that cracked you up.
Oh, that was good.
It gives you this weird convoluted feeling that you're going to get an IPA, but then you're stuck in this weird juice thing. So I'm not really sure what it is, but this one's not bad. I'm going to go ahead and give it a score of a 3.5.
Okay. So I'm going to ding this one because the craze behind the haze scene, there's a lot of them, and they're everywhere. Everybody, all of their R&D and their in development and all of their money into hazies. And this one, as a regional brewer, not really a micro. They're kind of in that little gray area there. It's an average beer. So for me, 3.0.
My decision is influenced by alcohol because I'm feeling in a really good mood right now. So all my scores are going to be a little, we're feeling good.
We love it, Natalie. We love it.
The taste, if you had asked me to score this taste on my initial sips a few days ago, I would have been like, no, it's too aggressive. It's too piney. It's too, like, it tastes like a lumberjack boy. But today when I tasted it, it almost had like a touch of vanilla and a touch of creamy. And I thought it was really well balanced. So I put it on par with the last beer. So 3.5 from me.
Not bad. I know what you're feeling. All right.
Yeah. Is
Going
it
with the
because
price,
the
this
alcohol's
beer
in my system? Maybe.
Maybe. But that's part of the journey, right?
Yeah. So for me, I bought it here in LA. It was $2.29. Anytime I see a can of beer under $3, I start feeling good. I feel like it's got a strong beer. I mean, it's got a strong ABV. I feel like it's a good bargain. Once again, I'm going to give it a score of a 3.5.
All right. It's very rare that I do this, but I'm going to give it a 5.0.
What?
I paid $1.49 for this beer.
What?
Wow.
Yep, $1.49 from Total Wine, by the way.
Wow.
So $1.49 for a 7.5% hazy. I mean, where the hell else can you find that?
Nate, you don't give out 5s, dude.
5.0.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, you've inspired me to give me an extra half a point. I'm going to give it a 4.5. Again, like it's very easy in Colorado to find this beer, to add it to a mixed 6-pack. I think when I ended up getting these, I was able to get 6 beers of like whatever flavors I wanted for $10. So it tends to be a little more expensive than the last beer. So I'm going to give it a 4.5 instead of a 5. But I'm honored that you gave it a 5, Nate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Dude, pick up a couple of those for April. All right, let's go to the design. I like the design. The thing about this design that I like is that everything is right there. I don't got to twist it. I don't got to turn it. If I do, it's the same thing. Another thing I really like about this, dude, if you look at Voodoo Ranger or, New Belgium, they were like NFTs before NFTs were a thing. Like, the crazed apes, they had the crazed skeleton bastards. All right. So I think that's really cool. I think it's a bitchin' look to it. I like that. I just like their style. I'm not sure if they use a sticker or they must use a sticker under. It's really melted onto the can. So they do that. I like that. I like how they put this black part on there. Overall, I think their can is great. 4.0 for me. The design's great.
Yeah. So I'm going in the other direction. I don't like the design at all. So it's boring. It's cheap to me. This Mexican skeleton guy, whatever he is, I don't know.
He's Mexican. He's a skeleton. His skin's off.
He's a voodoo.
Yeah, he's Jamaican. Yeah,
or Creole, whatever.
Let's get him, Natalie.
Well, listen. There's no description for what they're doing here. And as a fact, you can line up about 4 of their options in the hazy category, and they all look the same. You can't differentiate which one's what. So when I see this Voodoo Ranger Juicy Haze IPA, I don't know. There's no description of what they're trying to do. There's no.
Hold on.
That's it. That's boring. This stitching thing, stupid.
Wait, I think there's a description.
2.0.
There's a description right here.
Ooh.
Government warning, according to the Surgeon General. Oh shit! That's not it. Sorry, Natalie. What are you giving the design?
I do wish something that I recommend from when I'm advising people on what do you find in the liquor store. I always say, look on the side of the can and there should be 3 descriptor words like berry, cake, aggressive, sour, tart, da, da, da. So I definitely understand what you're saying about that. I think that comes from more of the craft brewers instead of New Belgium is a bigger one. It's owned by a macro beer company. So they're still operating as themselves, but they do have to answer to the man. So for me, honestly, when I'm holding both cans together, I think these are actually very similar cans. They both have a character. The character is the name. So I gave it the same score as before, the 3.5. What I do appreciate about what New Belgium does is brand continuity. So they have the 00 Voodoo and the Super Voodoo and the Juju Voodoo. And they have all these Voodoos. And it's always the same little guy. And he just has different outfits on it. So from a marketing perspective and a branding perspective, I can appreciate that this is the hazy guy, and now we're getting our influencer hand up, and he's wearing a cute little Hawaiian shirt. So I can appreciate it. Not my favorite, still not beautiful watercolors, handcrafted, local artist, 3.5.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, especially, I would like to see the Voodoo Ranger beat the shit out of the Knee Deep Brewing guy.
Oh, I don't like that guy. Is he the hop guy?
Yeah, I want to see him fight. I want to see them 2 fight.
Right.
Anyway,
that's your next series. Animating beer characters.
I like that. Beer character or death match.
Dude,
Maybe a
Yeah.
March Madness bracket. Who would
Oh,
win?
Yeah, dude, that's a good idea. I
Battle
mean,
to the death, like final combat.
that's a great idea.
What is
yeah.
that called? Final combat?
That
Mortal
match-
Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal
yeah.
Kombat, yeah, the Kumite.
Yeah.
What?
All right, a Kumite of beer characters.
What is a Kumite?
A Kumite was well, let me call AJ, but no, a Kumite was a fictitious or not. It's a tournament in Thailand years ago where they would fight to death. It was created into a movie called Bloodsport.
Is it like urban legend?
Yeah, you know who would probably win? The whole damn Kumite. Now that we're getting on the subject, from Boneyard Beer, the incredible pulp, dude.
What about some Claude?
Oh, yeah.
Claude.
I think we could pull in some like Great Divide, like Yeti beers. I think that would be
yeah.
fearsome. Okay. Invite me back. We'll do a bracket. It'll be great. We'll battle it out.
We should definitely do that because we haven't even brought in the element of magic yet. Spells and sorcery. You know?
That's true. That's true. Okay.
Oh,
I'm going to send you guys so many emails with thoughts later.
Wait, what's Nate doing? Hold on. Can you please do that? I don't know what you're doing.
Hey.
Well, now you missed it. I can't show you the thing now.
I don't know if you were smoking a marker or if you were like look at my money.
This way. I got it.
Oh, the beer salt, the magic. Vegas, I get it.
Hey, do you sell smelling salts?
No.
No, okay.
I mean, you can smell our salts.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, of course you do.
Whatever you do with the salt when it gets to your house, Nate, I'm not going to ask any questions.
The reason
He's going to be like, hey,
Joe Rogan thing with Theo Vaughn, and they both smelled.
Yeah.
I didn't know you can buy them. I'm going to buy some today. I'm doing smelling salts on the show.
Oh, I've tried smelling salts. They'll wake you up, but Nate's going to be like, hey, Natalie, do you sell anal salts?
I really hope my grandpa logged off of this feed.
Yeah, Pops, you don't need to watch all that.
You don't need to watch it. Like, we're gonna have a lovely talk later.
Let's go on accessibility. I feel like you could buy this in a lot of big cities in the United States, but it's a juicy IPA, but it is a big distributor in the US. I'm gonna give it a score of 3.5.
I'm going 3.0.
I'm doing 4.5, a little less available. Like White Rascal is almost like a household name here in Colorado. This one, especially like if we were just going with the traditional Voodoo Ranger, it probably would give another 5. But because it's like a subset, would probably do a little bit less. So 4.5 from me.
Cool.
Yeah, Jolin says, what's the beep salt? TMD X Factor. Once again, I'm here with friends. I'm here with Natalie with Beer Feelings. We've had an amazing show.
And you're here with Bucket now.
I'm here with Bucket. All right. And I love it. The Bucket is like, give me some attention. You've been on this show for an hour and almost 2 hours.
Hey,
I'll give it a score of 4.5.
Yeah, I'm going. What are we doing?
Feelings.
Nate Ranger.
3.0. I like it. I appreciate it, but I'm not a huge New Belgium. I'm not a huge fan of Fat Tire, their flagship beer. I don't know. If they're a regional brewer for something craftier, 3.0.
I gave it 3.5. I like the beer. I would have given it a 3.0 the first time I tried it, but this, I don't know, something just magical about this show made this beer taste so much better than it did before. So 3.5.
Good Lord, Mikey, let's get him.
Dude, I'm coming to Buffalo, so I'm going to do the Kumite.
I can't wait. It is a magical show, guys, for the New Belgium Voodoo Ranger Juicy Haze IPA. I gave it a score of a 19. Really good score.
19?
19, baby. And not
16.
16, right on the cusp. Not bad. What'd you give it, Natalie?
I would have been there on the first taste. We're at a 19.5 though.
Whoa.
I'm just in a good mood. I'm just like fun loving today.
It is. It's been fun. So the scores are elevated.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look,
you guys will have to come to Denver and we'll drink some like really weird hole in the wall, can't get it anywhere, like bizarre stuff.
I want to come to Denver and go to Finkel and Garf, to be honest with you.
Yeah, okay. Finkel and Garf, for anyone, like shameless plug, Finkel and Garf might be my favorite brewery. They're in the middle of, well, they're not in the middle. They're north of Boulder. So I have no reason to go there at all. But they have their whole tap room is like the back of their building is lined with these rows of cans, and they use it like pixel art. So they'll make like a Pokemon or like Pac-Man or different. But their taps change just about every 2 weeks. So even if you were to go there a whole bunch, you would get to try different stuff. But like really cool shit. Last year they had a calamansi sour. I don't know what calamansi is, but
it's a small citrus fruit.
Like fruity pebbles, magic, mysterious, like, oh my gosh. If you're going to Colorado, prioritize Finkel and Garf. Do it.
Well, funny that you
just the Dan finger.
That's
Go to
the
Finkel and
Garf. Well, funny that you say we may be there sometime in May or June. But
hey, I'm sorry, Danny, because I know you're going somewhere. Great American Beer Festival is in Denver this year?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah. Yes. I believe it's in September. So we may, if we don't make it,
I want to go.
We're trying to, do some more local beer runs, but we still work full time. We still operate this channel and the show. So, traveling, we're fitting it in where we can. But now it's time for what are you reading? What are you watching? What are you listening? I got my die. Nate, do you have their die? So I'm going to roll first. Nate's going to be on a separate one. For you, Natalie, you want to choose off of my die or Nate's?
Do we want to do one of each?
You could do one of each. We're only doing one.
Okay.
But she can do one of each.
We'll do one of each.
Okay. All right.
It's very theatrical.
Number one. What am I reading? I am reading this big book here, Natural World. Okay, it's an animal book. I don't read it like a regular book. I just kind of open it up and I look at pictures of Nate. I look at pictures of different animals, and it's just fun for me. Okay, what do you know about the prairie dog? It's just kind of cool.
Lot.
What's it? Yeah,
a lot.
And the thing is like, look at this beautiful, pictures and stuff. The reason I still read out of this book is like a lot of people would say, well, hey, Danny, why don't you just go on the internet and you can Google it and stuff like that. Like as an actor, I still feel like, your fundamentals and the foundation of your acting craft is being able to read. And, when we get scripts and stuff like that, we print them out or sides or whatever, and we have to learn how to be good readers. And it's just, it's one of the fundamental things that you should still practice. I like the feel of a book, and this is what I'm reading. Natural World, Patrick Hook.
Gorilla, fish, shark, polar bear, bird.
What do you got, Nate?
All right, I got to roll. My first time rolling the dice, by the way. Danny sent this to me this week. I got it the same day I got this beautiful glass from Natalie Beer Feelings.
Give it a triple blow.
Oh, that's your thing. I got a 3. Well, what is that?
What are you listening to?
Oh, this is easy. I'm listening to 303. 3.
Hey, you're going to love it. You're going to love it.
So you got to do, what are you listening to and what are you reading?
Okay, so we'll start with reading because it's a little like, ugh. So I'm a little ashamed to admit this. I'm a big Bachelor fan. And it's the right level of like brain dissolving material. So right now, most of what I'm reading is like different like Bachelor fan theories online. I wish it wasn't that, but that's what I'm reading a lot of. Different fan theories. Also, Love is Blind fan theories. So I'm reading a lot of garbage online. And then
you want to know who wins The Bachelor this season?
I do. Do you want to know?
Yeah, my friend's on the show. Well, he said one of the workers. It's already been filmed.
It has. I was gonna say, like,
I'll get in a lot of trouble. I'll get in a lot of trouble if I can say. I can't say.
I was kicked off too early, so I don't have any information.
Well, it's great. If you guys are Bachelor fans, 2 weeks ago, our podcast episode was based on your feelings on The Bachelor.
Oh.
Let me help you choose a beer that you like. So
cool.
If you hate the show, if you love the show, or if you're just a romantic, let me help you choose a style. So that was a fun episode for me to record. So I wish I could say I was reading a bunch of like really like beautiful literature, but I'm not. reading a bunch of garbage.
You're
A
good
lot
with
of
whatever you're
tabloids.
reading. That's who you are. Who cares?
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then what am I listening to? So I'm going to take it a podcast direction. So I'm listening to a lot of how I built this. So for any small business owners out there, Guy Raz hosts an amazing podcast that's basically all about how other small businesses, everything from Burt's Bees to Leatherman, like where did they start? How did they get there? So that's what I listen to every morning.
I love it, man. And I love it. And I can see the trajectory of you and Beer Feelings in like 4, 5, 2, 3, I don't know how many years, whatever it takes. I can see you becoming successful. I can see it happening. And I'm like, yeah, she's cool as hell, man. And that's why you should support her, guys. So after the show, the description down and the link will be in the description. Let's go to the quote of the show. And I want to close it out with this one. It's pretty simple. It's something that, I felt like it's good for the show because this is, you know me and Nate probably by now. And when we bring Natalie in here, it's just a really good fun all together, the three of us, the trio, and what we're doing outside of the show. And it comes from us from the Dalai Lama. It says the purpose of our lives is to be happy. And it's so true because each one of us is, that's why we're living. And we don't try to be too stressed out. Don't try to be. I don't know Natalie personally, but I know Nate very good. And we always try to live our lives and the purpose of our lives to be happy. Nate knows me. He knows that's what I'm all about. Yeah. Do we have stresses every day? Absolutely. Do we have stuff that we want and we want to overcome and we got to get through? Absolutely. But that isn't part of this particular quote. The particular quote is the things that we can control. The purpose of our life is to be happy. And that's what we're doing. We're doing the show. We're working on what we work on. We're living the lives that we live because we are happy with this. And, just a perfect guest for this quote. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. That's pretty much going to do it for us today. We went for 2 hours. We had a great time. Yeah. Please say goodbye to Natalie. Please, thank you so much. Recently advanced calipo diesel page turn is necessary. Thanks, Mike. Nate, do you have any closing words for us or anything to say on the way out?
Yes. Go to the swimming pool at Circuit.
That sounds great. It looked awesome.
Oh, and one more thing I would like to say. Natalie, I've been snacking on the salt.
It's really easy to do. The sugar is even worse because the salt will kind of like stop you because you can hit like salt overload. But the sugar, you can just like straight up get like a vortex going with a spoon. Game over. I'm so glad you loved it.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
We absolutely loved it. We loved having you on the show. Natalie, do you have any parting words for our audience, for the people that want
thank you so much. If you guys like how I talk about beer, how I talk about feelings, how we talk about dating beers, and it's a little wild and weird, just head to beerfeelings.com, follow along on Instagram, just everything. You'll see my hair. You'll see my hair and you'll know that. So if you just search Beer Feelings, you'll find it. But thank you both so much for letting me hang out with you guys on a fun Sunday morning and hoping my mom and grandpa logged off, but that's okay. And I'll catch you guys next time.
Natalie, thank you so much. Mikey's 14 deep. I really loved having you. We're going to reunite. We're going to bring a call back at some point. Thank you for being on the show. Nate, as always, I love you, bro. I hope you have a great day. I'm Travel Man Dan. And remember, it's a big world out there. Make sure you see every bit of it. Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.